one of the things that I've done is I've taken a real simple idea that we all want to do, or maybe I should say we all try to do as much as possible, and basically have put a powerful tweak on it. Here's the good thing that I want to share with you guys. I know we're trying to get as much business as we can for as little money as possible. Is that correct? Yeah? So what I did was, it has to do with the handwritten note, and this is just such a simple tweak that held me accountable to writing a note. One of the most powerful things that I've done is I had my assistant start stapling or just paper clipping an already pre-addressed stamped envelope with a note card that when I go on a listing appointment, it is attached to the listing sheet. So when I go on that listing appointment and I leave, I just pull this card off as I go in their house and I throw it in my car. I go do my appointment. As soon as I leave and I'm out in the driveway, I'm pulling this note out and writing my note right then. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for showing me your home. I hope you see how powerful our marketing plan is and how we can help you get the most money out of your home. And I dropped that in the mailbox on my way home. This note is showing up in their mailbox within 24 to 48 hours, however long your mail time is, and it really, really just blows them away. The other thing we've done on just the intake form, I added one extra little step that I think I picked up from a university or something, but the very first line is, how did you hear about us? The one extra tweak that I put on this note was the second line, which it says, or what was the thing that got you to call us today? Because what we found is as we started branding ourselves in our marketplace, the stuff is coming in from everywhere. Oh, I see your signs, your billboard. Heck, I even had a bus driving around Kansas City. I almost killed a couple of people, scared them to death seeing a 20-foot picture of Brad. So what we did was we put that on there and say, what was the one thing that got you to call us today, so we could really start tracking that a little bit further. And then my assistant Kimmy, Jean Shine was talking about she's real nervous about having her assistant book her schedule. Well, I've done that for the last year and a half. All the calls go to my assistant. She has my calendar, and whatever she books me on, I'm there. So if I want to go to something, it better be in her calendar. And let me tell you, I've missed a couple of good poker nights because I didn't put it in her calendar. So it's worked out great for me, and she just takes all the information and I just show up. So that's worked out really, really good for me. Now here's one thing about this note card thing. I challenge you guys, you can implement this today, right now. I want you to see a show of hands. How many of you have listing appointments waiting for you when you get back home right now? I've got two. They're in my book. Here's what I want you to do. After this session, call your office or take the note yourself. If you don't have an assistant, go write a handwritten note or go grab a postcard, pre-address it and stamp it for the person that you're going to go meet next week. Staple it right to your sheet and send that the day you leave their appointment. So.
How expensive is this little item right here, but how profound is it when you get a handwritten note? There are people on my team that still have little thank you notes that I've given them. I mean, if you take the time to handwrite something and send it, and for them to get it that quickly, I think that's great.
And get real. How many times have you guys wanted to write a note, and at the end of the day, you didn't send the note, and things got swamped? I used to have stacks of notes on my desk, and I didn't get them out. This, I know, gets done, so it has to be on there. I know one other thing that you guys asked me about was about my listing presentation. So here's another wow factor to create a client for life. One of the things that I picked up throughout the years, I used to go through the A to Z on my listing presentation. I tell them all the things that we did. One of the best tips I ever picked up was if I just talk about the 2 or 3 things that are really unique, that your competition cannot say that they back up or do 100% of the time, forget about the 99 other things that you do. When I go to a listing presentation now, I talk about the 3 things that really get buyers into their home that my competition can't do. So what I've done is I've shortened my listing presentation up by 30 to 45 minutes. Now replace that time with lead generation though, okay? If you're going to use this, and I'm going to save you some time, replace it with getting more business. But the second thing it does is it's a great way to under-promise and over-deliver. So now all the things that I wanted to tell them about, we're going to surprise them throughout the transaction. We're going to just hammer them with everything that we're doing on their house. I don't talk about the website a whole lot. I don't talk about the Homes magazine a whole lot. I just glaze over it, and then we just send them a copy of that every time we run the ad. So I don't talk about that in the listing presentation. I talk about what matters, and that's getting their house sold.
And what do you talk about 3 main things? What are those 3?
Well, my main thing when I go into my listing presentation is, first of all, my competition, I put it real simple. I say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you can put a sign in your yard, you can run ads in the paper, and you can do open houses. You don't need a realtor for that. Okay, the one thing that a realtor is going to bring to the table that they're going to sell you on is their MLS. Now, you guys, if you stop right there, what I got to do is I got to blow this MLS thing out of the water because every one of my competitors have that. So I say the MLS does not sell your property. When a buyer, how many of you print off a stack of 50 homes and hand it to a buyer and they narrow it down to 10? Think about that. You got a 10 and 50 chance of being in the stack, Mr. Seller. You got a 40 out of 50 chance of not being in the stack. So one of the things that we do is we have a flyer that has every property that we have for sale at that time, goes out to every single agent in our marketplace every 2 weeks. I hammer these. It looks like a homes and land ad, but it's going to the realtors in their mailboxes. The other thing that we put on there is, and when the seller sees this flyer, when I pull it out, it's got our commission amount that we're paying out, which is the top end for our market. And so they already see that coming. We're not talking about commission yet. That doesn't come till the very end. But we promote to the agents how much they're going to make. Now, one tweak I'm putting on this year, because things are so tight, we're going to take the commission amount out and we're going to start putting dollar amounts in there. $4,200 commission, $5,500 commission. For many of you, it's like $25,000 commission. Let them see a dollar amount with each picture of each property, how much they can make. Well, first of all, it's subliminal because it's based on a full price offer and they're seeing money because they have bills due at the end of the month versus a commission rate. So that's one thing we're going to change.